All right. Okay, is everybody logged in? Dropbox? Okay, once you're logged in, probably the easiest thing to do, let me go back to the Dropbox, all right, is to go over here to modify, okay? Over here to modify. Once you click on that, that will click up the most recent files that I have added, okay? And so if you go down, obviously to, let's see, where is it? Right here, yeah, 5882 syllabus. Go ahead and download that. But then all of this is going to be for the case study competition as well as for our urban plan. Okay. Everybody got it open? Okay, once you've clicked on it and you've opened it up, once again it should pop up the syllabus. And okay, so let's just sort of start with the basics. Obviously the part that you're going to be most concerned with is what are you being graded on and what are we doing, okay? So here are the two things. You have effectively two grades in this course. One is going to be on the NAIOP case study competition. That's going to be worth 50% of your grade. The other 50% of your grade is going to be the ULI Urban Plan Team project, which is going to be an internal project that we're going to be doing here over the next several weeks as well, kind of parallel to the NAIOP competition. You're actually going to have two different teams for each of these projects, okay, on purpose, so that we mix things up a little bit and you guys don't get stuck potentially with folks that you may or may not want to work with on both projects for whatever reasons, okay? Now what I'm hoping that you have done is you've begun to kind of think about who do you want to work with. And as I mentioned in the email, there are a total of 17 people enrolled in the class. So what we're going to probably do for the NAIOP competition is go ahead and have 4 teams of 4, plus one of the teams will have 5 members, okay? For the NAIOP competition. For the urban plan project, we're going to instead have 3 teams of 5, but one of those will have actually 6, okay? Does that make sense, everybody? All right, now, what we'll do here in relatively short order is to go ahead and give you guys a chance to kind of break up in teams. Obviously, there's a handful of people missing today. Those may be people you don't want on your team if they're not going to show up to class, so you may need to think about that, all right? So it looks like we've got 13 out of the 17 here, so what we're going to do initially is go ahead and talk a little bit about the NAIOP competition. What I have done is I have uploaded all of the files that I have been sent by our NAIOP project sponsors to Dropbox, okay? So these first few files here, that are the most recent files, everything from the parcel portfolios to the zoning map, the aerial, as well as the actual documents giving you the overview of the project, all that's been uploaded to Dropbox. In addition to that, I also printed out the basics of the competition information, which I'm going to hand out, and then our 2 NAIOP sponsors are going to get up and tell us a little bit about the project. So let's just sort of start off. What I printed out for everybody or the four most important pages out of the information, which is what is the deliverable and what is the case. Okay. So what I'm handing out now is effectively part of the file that is labeled up here, compilation of NCC documents 2015. So you might want to write that down on that piece of paper so that you at least know what to refer to with regard to the information. Okay, I'm also going to be passing out an aerial sort of site map for the project. So as I said, what we're going to be doing, we'll have 4 different teams working on this project. As I said, 4 teams of 4 people. One of those 4 teams will have 5 people. Okay. And so what I would suggest you do, as our sponsors were sort of talking about the project, is for you to be thinking about which portions of the deliverables that you want to be responsible for, which part that you're going to feel the most comfortable with or the most challenged by, and think very carefully when you go about potentially selecting your team. So with that, what I'm going to do is go ahead and turn it over to the project sponsors, Eric Lemke and Alex Gould.
All right, thanks, Fred. Oh, I appreciate it. Well, Alex does too. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Ooh, Alex.
I think.
Sounds like you're known around here, Alex.
Yep. PowerPoints may be up there as well if you want to.
Thank you so much. Find it.
It should be.
I have it on a data drive.
Yeah, here it is. Competition PowerPoint.
Cheers off there.
All right.
You left, man. That's what I just cut you off. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Fred, and thank you all for getting involved in this competition. We're all happy to be a part of it. I don't know if we've met. My name's Eric Lemke with First Republic Bank. NAIOP South Florida is a real estate organization I'm part of, and this is Alex Gould.
Yep. I know most of you. I went through this program, graduated recently, but this is my company's site that we're submitting for the case competition, so I'm happy to answer questions and be there for you throughout the process. But Eric's very organized with the way this presentation will go and what the deliverables are. So
thank you, Alex. Yeah, I've done this a couple times in Central Florida with the University of Central Florida, which is my alma mater. University of Miami, Nova's competed in this a couple times. Actually, Nova, when we do have other schools compete, Nova is the defending champion. So this year we're going to do it just in the course. We've past 5 years, I don't know if you guys knew, but it was a horrible real estate recession. There wasn't a lot of people in school learning about real estate. There wasn't a lot of people doing real estate deals besides workouts and buying at rock bottom prices. But now the cycle's coming back together. You know, there's a lot of development. Procacci's a leader in that. We're lucky to have them as a partner and to let us use this site that they've already started work on. There's a portion that's broken out that's a hotel. We're going to get into it. That's not what you're looking at. This is dirt, fully entitled, ready to go. There's no reason, and nor should you ever contact the city, public officials about this site because it is a live working site. Procacci has things that they're doing that they don't want to kind of muddy up the waters with students contacting, or anybody for that matter, contacting the city while they work through it. So please, any questions, just direct them to Alex and I. We can't say that more. That's one of the few and only things that will disqualify you from this competition. So I just wanted to be clear about that. So I'm going to jump through these slides with you, and Alex will definitely add his 2 cents as we go through. So mission statement. You know, everybody needs a mission statement. would implore you as teams to come up with a mission of what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish with this site. But the mission for the competition is, the mission of the Collegiate Challenge is to provide unique and valuable industry exposure to college students in a competitive and realistic environment. We want to give you exposure to the real estate community here in South Florida. The spirit of the program is to provide positive exposure and experience for all involved and provide a real-world experience for the students. So we just reiterate our point of giving you exposure. You know, that's how I landed my first job in real estate, through a Collegiate Challenge. That's why I'm passionate about it. So I think if it's worked for me, I'm sure it could work for anyone in this room. If you're currently working in the industry, maybe it'll take you on more of a direct trajectory of where you want to go. So please consider that as you go through this, because the judging panel is a solid group of people. We're going to have 6 judges. Some of those are real estate advisory committee members at Nova Southeastern, the people who help select your professors, chairs, your curriculum. So this is a great opportunity if you're looking to get a job to find it. So here, let me go to the next slide. What is NAOM? That's the group sponsoring this, that hosts this. It's an organization Alex and I are a part of. And as it says, the chapter here in South Florida, and this is pretty standard throughout the United States, is a commercial real estate development organization. Our members are developers, commercial brokers, construction companies, real estate attorneys, architects, engineers, bankers. How we're different is we lobby. And that means we lobby in Tallahassee and we lobby in Washington for positive change. It's one of the few things, it's one of the few real estate organizations that has the ability to do that. And that's why I joined it, because a big part of real estate, and from my previous statement, is getting public officials and that side of the business in line with the goals you're trying to create.
It used to be, to add on to that, when I first started this program, it was a requirement to actually join up and become a NAOP member, because it would, not only are you learning in the classroom, but it would involve you and force to interact with people in the industry. And just from that, having your academic knowledge and learning from people was a good way to connect the dots.
Yeah.
So, and it's, I mean, you can get a student membership for like $100.
No, it's $19.
$20, $19. So
Yeah, $19.
I mean, I didn't even know it came down, but
benefits.
that's something that's going to pay dividends for.
Yeah, I pay $300 because I'm not, or we pay $300 because we're under 35. Everyone above 35 pays at least $1,000. So this is a great
value.
Yeah, great value to say the least. So the key dates, delivery of materials, you're getting those today. We're going to come back in. We're shooting for May 16th, which is a Saturday. It's when you guys meet, where hopefully your written presentations, you know, your analysis, and that's part of these deliverables that Fred was nice enough to print and hand out for us. That's when you've kind of come to terms with these deliverables, and now it's like, how do I lay this stuff out? How do I, are my numbers correct? You know, we're going to provide you professional resources that you can draw upon, who are bankers, who are real estate brokers, and etc. So we'll provide that at a later time, because we want you to start thinking creatively of what you would do with this site. We'll give you more information. We're going to keep going. Project submittal. So you have till Monday, June 1st at 10 a.m. to submit your written presentation. That is 40% of your score. And this is a competitive event, so that's 40% of your total score. The other 30% is the judge's presentation, which we'll do live here at Nova on Saturday, June 13th. And then also that day, there'll be a Q&A after your presentation with the judges and your team, where you'll answer any questions, kind of get to the details of what you're planning. And then by then we'll have picked a winner. We may let you know then, we may let you know on the 17th or on the 18th, which is Thursday, when we're going to have an awards event at the Davie campus in the business building. And we'll give you more information on the timing of that, and we understand if there's job conflicts and things. That's why we're presenting here in the classroom. We want to make it convenient for you. We want to make sure that you're able to be in your best, you know, put your best foot forward and not have to talk with your current employer about taking time away from work. So that's that. Look at that. Do not contact any city or public officials about the site. So where is the site? I'm going to leave this to Alex. This is his site. He knows it better than anybody. And please.
Sure. It's off the Turnpike next to the Dolphin Mall. It's Doral, but it actually falls under the municipality of City of Sweetwater. And that's one of the main reasons we do not want you contacting public officials. And I put in the deliverables the zoning, because they actually just went through a zoning change, which is allowing this site to be developed to include retail, hospitality. The only thing it excludes is multifamily. And so it's still in the appeal process, where surrounding owners of other properties could put in for an appeal, and it could be withdrawn. So we, again, don't want to, like Eric said earlier, muddy up the waters or just cause any conflict around that process. That's also why I delivered it to you, because you can't actually get it from their website yet, because it's not officially posted. But that's one of the assumptions, and that's why I provided the document to you. So just assume that you can basically put anything there. But it's an 8-acre site. Again, we purchased a 14-acre site just east of the Dolphin Mall. We carved out a little over 4.5 acres, and we're putting up a 132-room hotel there. And the rest of it, to be honest, we don't know what we're doing with. And even in our, with our company and our business, we're going to contact consultants, and those consultants are going to provide a marketing report. So you're all actually acting as consultants here. Then we would take the marketing report and we would do our own, financial feasibility analysis, contacting vendors. So what we actually do, real life application, is what we're asking you guys to do. And we're hoping that you guys come up with some great ideas. And the other part of that is you actually get honest feedback from a panel of judges that are active developers or bankers, people that are going to give you honest feedback of why your project makes sense, or maybe places that you can work on it. So yeah, it's a real world application. And again, assuming that the full site is ready to go. So we've already put in a number of costs, and I gave you a basis to assume the cost of the land. I think it comes out to 12.8 million, and that's because what we purchased it at, and then we put in development rights, building pads, everything basically just to put a building up that's ready to go. So assume that as your working basis for your financial modeling, and think of that as how you assemble your groups. Maybe a bunch of people are not good with financial modeling. Some people are better with marketing. Some people are better, making phone calls. So maybe when you're putting your group together, you kind of put different strengths so that you can, all accomplish the different aspects that you need to do.
Yeah. There's a lot of points that he touched on I want to echo. One is that this is a real world, real life case happening right now. They're building the hotel. The hotel is the actual construction. The concrete has been poured. They're about to top off, which means the construction pour is 95+% done, and the branding, the flag, Hilton, is coming in to inspect to make sure that they can get this done. So this is a real site. Things are happening now. This is about as real as it's going to get. So please take that into consideration. They really want your feedback. This is an opportunity for Procacci to get honest feedback from MSRE graduate level students who are saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do with this site. If I had the money, if I had the ability, I want to be a developer, this is what I'd do, Procacci. And you know what? You're also going to present that to people who have properties in the area and people that are big time players in the industry, the biggest names. So please consider that. Put the effort for it. It's not just for a grade, but it's also for an opportunity to get a spot that's going to put you on a better trajectory as you kind of ascend into your career, whatever your plans are, whether it's real estate, whether it's banking, whether it's some form of business that interacts with this group. It's your best opportunity. I can promise you that. So there was environmental issues. We mitigated those issues. It's in the total cost. So it's pretty cut and dry, this deal. There's not a lot of things that are going to pop out of the woodwork. What you really need to do, and we'll provide you professional resources, is kind of come up with what you think you could do on this site based on the zoning. We have provided you the 37-page document that specifically explains this zoning. There's a lot of those pages that don't matter to you, but there's some in there that do, and this is what Procacci was given from the city. So just as if you were a developer, it's what you're given. So go through it, work within those parameters, come up with a creative way. If you have questions after you've reviewed those documents, obviously you're welcome to reach out to Alex or me. We're happy to discuss it. The professional resources will have a baseline idea, and we'll help guide them on the parameters we want to give to you folks as you go. So as Team 1 goes up, we want to make sure Team 2 gets similar or the same information from that professional resource. So we're going to try to work to keep that conforming. If you're having issues, shoot me an email. In the document, NCC, whatever you described it as, Fred, it's up there in Dropbox. It has my email and my cell phone. Anything related to the competition, you're not getting the response. You have questions on the guidelines. You want to better understand X. Call me or email me, just be respectful of my time. Just give me 24 hours to respond to you. I'll probably do it in 5 minutes, but that's all I ask. And same with Alex, when regards to the site, after you've reviewed the zoning, after you've kind of done some investigation, give them a call if you have further questions. We've provided you a ton of information, so please review it.
To elaborate on that, have you guys learned the zoning process yet? Some of it? Just a concept there of when Eric says like what to put on the site. The zoning is going to give you a permitted use. From there, the zoning is also going to give you a density requirement. So just to give you an example, it's zoned for office, and it could be, you know, a FAR ratio that would give you the ability to develop 200,000 square feet. That already gives you a parameter to start working in. From there, you'd start looking at, well, what office tenants, you know, are looking to be in the city of Sweetwater. You know, why would they want to be close to the mall? So that's kind of why that zoning document is really your kind of the place you should start. So that's going to define, you know, where to go from there.
Definitely, you know, and if I was approaching this, and I've done these before, if I was approaching it, I would definitely start with the numbers. Kind of build a spreadsheet as a team, think about what is possible. Because, you know, there's a lot of great ideas that are impossible. So think about what is possible. I think that zoning document and starting with the spreadsheet, taking the key attributes of what you want and really plug that in. I realize we're not all good on Excel. Excel is a very user-friendly document, but it's still difficult. If that's where you're weak, get stronger. This is a great opportunity to get stronger. So take the time, put the time in. It's what you make it. It's a great opportunity. So when it comes to the utilities, they're all in place. That keeps it pretty simple. Water retention, no issues. We're good there. This is the site. This is what it looks like. This red boxed area is your site. That's what you're going to develop. And as you see it above, to the right with the Dolphin Mall there, the International Mall, the Turnpike. This has amazing linkages. It doesn't have frontage. Well, actually, that is a major street. Excuse me. It does have frontage.
On a lot of the analysis, this hard corner here gets thousands of traction because this Dolphin Mall gets around 36 million visitors a year.
So what would you put up here? I don't know. Think about it.
But that'd be your most valuable with the frontage if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah, maybe quadrant or parcel this major parcel off, even though it's all one development, and think about where your value lies. There's all kinds of ways you can kind of skin a cat, so to speak, and this is, or break out a deal. And this is what you need to start thinking if you want to be a developer or even work in this business. You know, you're always trying to find a way to make something that someone prior to you wasn't able to make happen. That's the reality. The reason this hasn't been developed is the market didn't allow it, and whoever had it before them just couldn't make it work.
So is the far north end where the hotel is?
Yeah, the hotel is going to sit here. It's 11 stories. The parking lot for the hotel is here. And I mean, I'll tell you, don't rule out hospitality just because there's a hotel here. Because the only other hotel that performs at all in this market is linked right off the Dolphin Mall, and it's old and not performing well.
Zoom out from this area too, and think about what's happening here in Miami, and think about what's going to happen over the next 20 years in this area. You know, like Wayne Gretzky said, the reason he was the best is because he knew where the puck was going to be. Not where it is, but where it's going. So where is this area going is what you need to think of if you're going to be a developer, not what it is. So just keep what it is in mind. All right, who is a developer? I think we talked about Prakashi. Amazing firm, really amazing firm. It's a local firm out of Boca. Alex has worked for the company for a while. They've got 1.2 million square feet of office and retail projects throughout Florida. In the process of developing this hotel, they're doing other deals here in Fort Lauderdale. I don't know how much Alex wants to share with you on that because it's always, you know, you keep stuff like this close to the vest, just like amongst your teams. You're not going to, team one's not going to tell team two and say, hey, guess what? We figured out we can put 100,000 square feet of retail, and the reason we can build it at, you know, X amount of per square foot, we can release it at this, and we're going to make, you know, this return. You know, you're not going to share any of that with each other outside of your team because it's a competition, just as it is outside of these walls. So keep that in mind too. What is your objective? The deliverables have been given to you. They're also all on Dropbox. In conjunction with the potential permitted use of the property, evaluate the location of the property and its surrounds, paying close attention to the current real estate market condition as you decide on a development approach. I think we've kind of beat that one to a pulp. Here's specifically market trends, opportunities. Where's it going? Annual absorption. How much is coming online of new product? What type of product is it? What type of rents are they getting? What are the current situation with vacancy, the rents that they're getting? What's the story with the forecasted vacancy on the time of delivery and thereafter of the project? Existing direct competing projects that are going in the ground or ground up now, or existing. What are you competing against? You know, that's the thing. Some people don't like competition, but whether it's a job, whether it's this, whether it's whatever, you're always competing, like it or not, you know. The game doesn't stop for you. Existing rents and or selling prices for the different types of product. Forecasted rents and or selling prices for the time you recommend delivering the product. Again, I don't think we can, the existing and the forecasted numbers are going to be key. This is where the judges are going to say, hey, where'd you get these numbers? CBRE, CB Richard Ellis puts out a great report. Market rents for this entire area broken between, you know, you could get a pretty direct, and there's a lot of other providers of this information, where it could be just this little central business district, the entire greater Fort Lauderdale area, Broward County, South Florida, and then you could do it for each county or municipality. So the information's there. Find you, and I know Fred can help you with that. He's very capable amongst other things. And speaking of that, Fred is a great resource. So are your other professors. Don't feel that you have to go outside of Nova to get the advice you need, because a lot of these folks you have at Nova are professionals in the business, and this is part of what they do. They just enjoy teaching you. They want you to grow. So please go to them, especially with that Excel stuff that you have trouble with. Those are the folks that are going to be able to help you. All right, event guidelines. We've provided you that document, and I promise this is the last slide. The executive summary, key participants. On that key participants page, you'll find Alex and my phone numbers and email. You can reach us anytime. Just be respectful of our time as we would be respectful of yours. The competition description and ground rules. Very detailed. If you have questions about the rules after reading that, I'm happy to answer them, but please take a look over it. You know, refer to it. It's a resource. When you have a question, it's a great starting point. The competition calendar, we went over it earlier, but also you have it in writing in there. The event governance, you know, the rules again, just in its own special way. Competition resources, professional resources forthcoming. We want you to start on this and have an idea of where you want to go before you pick up the phone and start calling people. You know, they're not there to give you ideas, they're there to give you direction on your ideas. So be original, come up with your original ideas. As silly as you may think they are, you know, they get where you're coming from. You're a student, they're trying to help you. This is the only time in life that you can call on people and they cut you a break. I did it when I was in my graduate level work. I did it in my undergraduate level work. I'm sure you guys have already done it. This is your opportunity to kind of call people that you wouldn't normally call in business because there's intimidation. This is a great way to break the ice, this competition. So look at it as that as you call these people. Respect their time and be prepared. That's all we ask. Detailed case study information, that's, I think, something that Fred has already printed for you, but it's also online. So, we've covered a lot. Can we answer any simple, specific, whatever questions you might have? Sure. Dustin, is that you?
Yeah, Dustin. Alex, for you. So you guys have a lot of this, some of the market research done, like as far as traffic counts, what type of demographic goes to the mall. Like, obviously, you got a lot of developing going around there. Is that something, or even access to the hotel reports for the local market there? Is that something that you know you could provide to everybody?
Right. I will have to check our agreement there. We had to pay a consultant for it, and a lot of them were done specifically on how hospitality would perform in this market versus other asset classes. But if there's no, restrictions on us providing it to you, as long as you don't provide it to anyone else, I'll be able to send those out. But again, I have to check. I don't want to send you reports.
Or even if it's not the consulting one, if it's just like a general market, like for the
Right.
hotel performance, like the RevPAR and all that that's coming
Okay.
into, I don't know.
I know a lot of them are market reports, like JLL does them or CBRE does them, where you could target, you know, different submarkets, find which submarket this is in, and that would give you the report for hospitality, retail, office. The consulting reports that we purchased actually take that information and then really apply it directly to this site. So that's why it would be very good information for you to have, but I don't know if I can distribute it to you. If not, I would use the general market reports that you do not have to pay for.
No, they're out there, and usually through the university, through their library, there's all kinds of database access that you have that's been paid for, subscriptions that have been paid for. You know, talk to your librarian about that. When I was in graduate level work, we had all kinds of access to Thomson Reuters for financials, for market reports from all the major firms. So see what you can get access to, and Fred might know who you can talk to in the library, but usually that's the place to get that info, through their database, because it's free. Typically you would pay a lot of money for it. So.
Well, for the students that were enrolled last semester, should still have coastal access, right?
All right, there's a great resource. CoStar is what the pros use. So if you don't know how to use it, it'd be a good thing to learn while you're in your master's here. Any other questions? All right. Let's take a quick look at what we've put online, just so we can show you what we're talking about here. All right. Close out everything. So here's the committee document. I'll just bring that up. So there's my information. There's Alex's information. My Gmail goes right to my iPhone. I don't check it religiously because it just, you know, other emails. So I will check it. I check it daily. I can say that much. I just don't. It's not like every 20 minutes. There's also Jules Morgan, who's the executive director of NAOP. If you have any questions about membership or attending events, we have a couple really good events. Dinner with the Winner. 4 top names in real estate here in Fort Lauderdale, Broward County. It's right around the corner at Timpano's. Is like a block and a half. So I think it's like $100. It's members only. That includes dinner and drinks. You sit at a table with 8 other people and a winner, and each course for 30 minutes. You know, so you got your salad. You know, you sit with Evan Brody, who's one of the top CPAs for real estate folks here in South Florida, and you can talk to Evan about whatever you want. You and the other 8 people at your table are going to be asking Evan questions, and this is an opportunity to meet Evan. So afterwards, hey, or before, Evan, it's so nice, I really enjoyed that. Mind if I get your card? I'll follow up with you, blah, blah, blah. Who else? Somebody from Styles. Do you know the lineup for, you know, we'll send you everything about Dinner with the Winner, and also a conversation series with Jack Lowell, who's a big-time South Florida developer, broker, just amazing guys. 40-plus years in the business here in South Florida. He's just a superstar. Coffee at his office. Everybody's invited who's a member. Sit in the conference room. He'll tell you about his first deal. He'll tell you about all the mistakes he's made. He'll tell you about all the successes he made. I mean, you find all kinds of personal things about these people that give you the ability to connect with them, you know? And I could get into that for days. So these are the people, the sponsors, that are hosting this event. All right, so back to Dropbox. We already talked about the mission, so here's the big file. This is the one you want to look at. The zoning map you want to look at. The zoning code. This is that 37-page document. Why don't we just click on it and look? That's straight from them. It tells you a little more than you really wanted to know. We're C2, Special Commercial District. Isn't that correct, Alex? C2. Special Commercial District, that is your zoning. In case there was a question, C2 is your zoning. If you have another question about it, God help you. So it's somewhere down in this document. I'll let you find it. Play that game. Here's the map. You've even been nice enough, or
It's up there.
is it? Yep, there it is. Boop. Right here. Here's your site. See the little hand? Everyone sees the hand? Yep, C2. There's your Dolphin Mall. Gives you an idea of what your competitors can do on the other sites around you. what they're doing here. This is strictly for the city of Sweetwater. I'm sure you can find more online. Again, do not contact the city. Can't say that one enough.
You can't find that online yet, actually.
No,
So
sorry.
that's revised, yeah.
My mistake. So this is the most updated. Thank you for saying that, Alex. So this is what you'll go by. Alright. So that's the table of contents. A letter. Just saying how happy we are to have you in this, and we truly are. I mean, this is something we enjoy doing. I know I can be sarcastic from time to time, but we really enjoy doing this. You know, so please have fun with it, do your best, and that's all you can do. General overview, the case study. Here's a good thing. The case study was selected by the committee based on its merits, comprehensive nature of the opportunity. Pretty comprehensive. This has mixed use written all over it. But like Alex said, there's all kinds of uses. Reality of the opportunity. This is not a look back. It's a real project that could be developed today. Location within South Florida, relatively easy access. Student teams, I mean, it breaks it all down here for you. The rules, as I was saying, the rules are pretty explicit. Please take the opportunity. Explains the submittal process, explains the presentation, how we select the teams, awards, networking event, the philosophy. I mean, there's more in here than you probably need, but to answer every question, we wanted to make sure we provided you with that. Internal resources, professional resources. Again, in the next 10 to 14 calendar days, we'll have the professional resources available to you. As we said, we'd like you to have a genuine idea of the direction you want to take. It's what, April 18th today? You have until May 16th where we come back in here to say, hey, what do you got for us? You've got 2 weeks until you have to submit your final presentation. You'll have time, this is the written portion, but then you'll have another week to do a PowerPoint based off your final presentation that you submit on June 1st. So just keep that in mind. All right, and written presentation. All these deliverables that Fred printed out for you. Great. As you can see, this is it. It's got everything you could possibly ask for and more. All right. I think that's it. Alex, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No. We're excited to see what you each come up with.
Definitely. Definitely excited. Any questions? I mean, anything about this event? No? That was easy.
What happened to the air conditioner?
Looks like you finished right in time.
Yeah.
How many schools are participating in this job?
So this year it's going to be just Nova. In the past we had University of Miami, FIU, University of Central Florida, FSU. We took a couple of years off and we're just getting it started again. So we did reach out to all the other schools. They had commitments and things like that, and we've had a strong partnership with Nova since its inception, and we always want to do whatever we can to help you guys. Anything else? No. All right. Fred, thanks for having us. Thank you.
Let's take a 5-minute break, and we'll come back and get started. If you want to do any one-on-one questions with Aaron or Creed.
Oh, no, it's not over there. I want to change it over here.
Thanks again.
No, thanks.
Fred, thanks to see you.
I think it's gonna be good. If you can stress reading through all that, there it's just apply and read, but there's everything, there's a lot.
But that's exactly what we need.
Alright, that's my book.
Right here, yours last.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, kind of got a copy of the PDF. We both made the email, so once I got it, I wasn't able to.
Hi, I'm Aaron.
Hi, Alyssa.
Nice to meet you.
I work as an analyst at JLL.
Oh, great. That's a great firm.
My bet would be her.
Oh, we'll never know.
I'm just saying, she's got the right stuff.
There you go. Well, good. This is nice.
Yeah,
What's
we
this
put
for?
this together. We had an event.
This was, yeah.
It was Pulse 360, so we had the head of local markets for the country go down and spoke. We had had people from a bunch of different developments do like a Q&A kind of a thing. There were around 140 people.
That's awesome.
In Miami. It was a cool event, and we put this together, researched it as like a handout.
Just so you're
But I
aware,
couldn't make the
we
event.
put together
and
5
We're
person.
knocking my hands
Okay.
on it.
So everybody else knows.
So yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
See, this is what people do.
yeah.
You guys have access to CoStar too?
Me?
They should still have, I mean, the ones we're in last semester. too.
Okay. Yeah, that's huge. It's
Yeah.
gotta
No, I mean, it helps even like, I think that maybe we need to teach everyone how to use CoStar.
That would be a
That's the
good
other
course,
thing, like
too.
when I first started at work, I had no idea how to use CoStar.
Yeah.
So I can just imagine that students, like, there's no one to actually teach them. I had someone who I was like, hey, how do I do this?
There's a little like learning center at the top. I haven't even used it, but I know that there's a ton of like how to run this report, how to research this market, how to do this, and like you can just click on it and it shows you everything.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, no, thank you for the look.
No problem.
This is your last semester.
My last semester will be done. I actually just got my offer.
Awesome, congratulations.
Right, so one of your team members will. I'm gonna,
Other than this site, we have
no. What
inspections
happens
next week.
is that CoStar takes about a month to activate the, so I sent in December for the folks that started in January. So now I'm going to send in another list that will be activated in probably April, so like May.
We went through the
So
whole process of like getting
the idea is to share one of the accesses with the other folks in the class.
Right. Ours is the structural design layout. So I know early, so not even the FF&E part, but just room layouts, ADA compliance, positioning with kitchen, pool, gym, like everything has to be at a certain specification that they say, and then the bar layouts, it's just
Right.
gonna be a nightmare. I'm hoping that we're good because we've been working with them the whole time. But they, yeah,
Always
there was
in the meeting. Yeah, always in the meeting. Ignore everything you hear from the campus advisors. Okay? I am the person that makes all the decisions. I am the person that manages everything. Any question you have about anything, I'm the person. No one else. Yep. Just tell me when.
Oh, really?
Okay, I'll be there on Monday. I've got an appointment. I think somebody's coming in at 1 o'clock, so we can just leave before or after that. Okay.
Right. Who's the not manager? Yeah, we have to go through that process next is hiring our the management company.
Oh, okay.
Because we're they offered to bring someone down full time, but we're going to bring in like an interview process to make sure it's just their guy, and we're leaving put all our eggs in the basket.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
I'm trying to get everyone out to make a site visit.
I was just gonna say, like,
Yeah, well, no, it's.
sort of attempted to put a team together,
No,
but I want to go over and see
In that
if there's
37-page document.
well, you can go over and see. What I'm trying to do is get you in the hotel so that you can see a project going up while
and the hotel
the
is
site
always
is next
going
to it.
behind.
So
Behind,
Yeah.
yeah, as you
you can go see
show,
the
there's a
site.
red box, that's yours,
dirt.
and then there's a
Hotel
parcel back
is
here, yeah, and then
fully developed.
then
It's
the
just
parking
they're
lot
putting the
is
panels on that.
on
There's
too.
nothing
That red box is all yours,
filled out on the inside.
it's all yours, okay?
Yeah. I'm
This part up here by the main road, that corner, that's the area.
Yeah. Well, this we got one on Sunrise, and then one other one down.
You can do whatever you want. And then, if you want to see what the hotel looks like, just expand
They
it.
did.
I saw that they like
And that's one of their
Unless-
types in.
A new plan with like 7-year phasing on
I saw, I
like
mean, I saw
15
it.
units. Yeah.
Go by the side.
We're still, I guess, we're still
Turn,
approved for
get off that
under
turnpike right there.
80 units.
Go to the Dolphin Mall and the train.
In the building that you, is that the site you have posted on the?
Yeah.
On Google too, you don't
It's
have to
funny
leave your house.
because you showed us
Yeah.
pictures, so I drove by
Yeah,
there,
I
and
know
I
that
was
one.
like, that's the gas station. option.
Yeah, that's the one that won't leave. But that's
I
like,
can't.
good job. They
I got
do it
two
though.
birds.
They do so well.
I can't help it.
There's like no other convenient gas stations. Like you're able to 95.
Honestly though, that area
All
right
kinds of
now,
things. Look at this, I don't know, check the zoning.
horrendous. Like I wasn't.
I'm not sure, just read that zoning, that's what was the truth.
Which was like the only way to have not good.
Right. How's that mall?
I mean, it was busy actually.
I'm like sweating.
Yeah, we've been here since.
I can't imagine.
Okay, great.
Yeah, they usually started.
Excuse me one second. Yeah, you too.
That would be
You guys ain't getting some group. Winning team right here. We give you false information.
Yeah, we do. It's not good.
Is it?
I said it's not. I'm not fair. I'll get.
It's been busy. Got yep, and then we're on a top off party Wednesday. Oh really? Didn't get the invitation?
Yeah, wait, what?
I'll see what I can do. There's like 250 people going, which I don't even know who they invited.
I got you invited to this.
I'll get you invited. I'll figure it out. I gotta even see who's going. Might have much construction. Oh, maybe. I thought they were doing a flag.
Flag is all everybody tags up tree for the last meeting that goes up.
You're done after this semester? It's so hot.
And I would never do that. I mean, it's
Okay, Robert, who's in your group for Leo?
But you should leverage his class to help in this case. If we want to learn how to do a pro forma for a multi-unit use center, teach us that. Yeah. He's like, read the
Okay, NAP Team 1 has been selected. Okay, NAP Team 2.
Fred, I think we're gonna head out.
Okay,
Thank you for having us today.
thank you very much for popping by.
May 16th, is that okay?
Yeah, perfect, perfect.
The judge presentation. Once you get early, so we'll get started, because you guys are 11. Yeah, and then, all right, perfect. How would we set up? I was invited. Is there
Yeah, so this can help you go front for a second, and we can kind of put the judges a little bit here, maybe on the front row or something. Yeah, well, hopefully, I mean, literally, they are working on it right now. I don't know why the, yeah.
I just see June and
Yeah.
chat.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. Thank you.
This is my name, Eric Miller, short for Eric.
what was your winning score?
And so am I. I don't know how it's done.
Hello. How are you? I don't think we met. Sorry.
Yes, he's my boss. And
Yeah,
there's another guy.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Yeah,
You know, and I don't want to.
I would love to.
Yeah, you too. If we can help with anything.
I'm finally having like more friends.
I was in the office this morning.
No, this one's I put out 2 days ago.
Something like that.
Normal like work day. I should
This
like
is just how I-
8:15. I'm like, this is
Believe it or not, this is just how I am.
we have a
But it's been good to me. They have been a great organization. Got a lot of fun.
Alex, Alexander, where'd you go? You said it was you and who else?
Yeah, it is.
Mancini?
Were you in real estate or banking by
No, different. If you want, you came and right out your kitchen and all that.
I didn't know when I came out of my
Better to have
06, I had an internship.
Different brands.
Yeah, just so you get on different pages.
But you're in the right thought process. We look to try and do Marriott or the next thing. Or, yeah, or different, you know, so then you basically say, oh, dominate the market. Because, I mean, really, you can't do that though, because you're in the Marriott. But you can do,
I don't do a lot of
Hyatt.
Holiday Inn is what? That's
Good. All right, so who does that leave us? That leaves us.
There's, I mean, I'm saying there's other,
Because I think there's random value in there.
Okay.
no, it's all the value. That's why you do, yes, you're at South when now,
More stuff.
I guess is the,
I don't understand.
and then it's something that like,
You gotta get strong. This is specialized Superman.
you now go
Find out
with,
who's real and
there's
who's
gonna be
not.
hydrogen, there actually haven't read
Only
it.
one way.
We, I think we're at
Janae.
Yeah, and that's why it
Hey,
costs.
Janae?
It costs me.
Janae?
the airport.
Who's in your group so far?
Yeah, I just know that we went in and they were like, all right, you can go. They spent a long time.
Have a great day. Nice meeting
So
you.
you're working on a team. Okay, so in that case,
Well, there's a DRI there, Development Regional Office, and actually the hotel was in, and the property's not. So that's why there was a whole separate set of issues.
I'm like,
We own most of the property in the DRI.
Like,
So there was
who's next in both
no, but you had to have
on retail?
like
He's traveling today.
voting, so you had to like lobby.
The gentleman with the red shirt.
Pleasure meeting you too.
Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah.
All the time. Going golf today. Oh, really?
I got invited, but she was the only one to the dog. I got somebody. Use my ball once.
That's so funny. You gotta love it.
Use your ball once because you're like, oh wait, I have a ball in my pocket here, Tyler.
Can I finish mine next year's?
My putt. Happened to make it in the hole,
Yeah.
so we used it.
That's great.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Fred.
Best of luck. Thanks. We'll see you on the
Jeff,
track.
Maxine. Thank you, sir. Absolutely.
Adios.
See you. He's the gentleman that he was here last week.
Bye,
Be
man.
here. Really good.
Best of luck.
He's
Thanks.
in
Call me if you need
military.
anything.
Former military. I think you're going to be very pleased with Maxie and Nancy. I understand. Well, and so what we're going to do, we're going to talk about this in just a second, is these groups are not going to be intact for the other project. It's not a national conference.
The other one is not.
Correct.
This is the one where you're going to showcase the result of actual development. So this one is a little bit more important to me than the other one would be. See, so I just, again, when I did it with my other master's program, I figured out 1, 2, 3, in a mind, which one, and then that's when you because everyone's going to restaurant places like that. I know making sure
This is the way we do degrees.
this is all you.
Okay. Good. All right, so up on the board, here are the teams for the NAIOP competition. All right, so take a look at that. Make sure that you've got it written down so you know who you're going to be working with. Also, who's not here. Now, for the other project that we're going to be doing in this class, we will have totally different groups that we're also going to select now as well. Okay? And I want no more than 2 members that are on any of these teams to be on the same team. Okay? So that way it mixes it up. Okay? So now what you need to do is figure out.
This time? Yeah. Oh, because we all feel.
This has 3 teams. Okay? And so we need 6 members on 2 of the teams, and then 5 members on the 3rd team. Okay, so think about how you want, but once again, ideally no more than 2 people that are on a team together for the NAIOP are going to be on a team for this. As soon as you have your team identified, let me know.
So, Olivia wants to be in this team? Okay. That's 1.
Okay.
And we'll get Anthony too, if there's 5.
But we can. It has to only have 2 from. So.
Well, we're not, Anthony's on.
Oh, Anthony. So yeah. You guys don't work.
We got a team ready.
The first one?
Okay. And does that team meet our rule of no more than 2?
How many
Okay.
Okay.
That makes it.
Okay.
I
All right.
guessed that already.
Are you getting on?
I guess.
Okay.
I think we're gonna have more.
At some point they'll have.
Yeah, I think the math just doesn't.
Yeah, there's going to be an overmixing. So you guys just move over to the 6th group, and then I can be involved.
Okay. All right. Who else wants to join this team?
I mean, I'm not with the team, so.
Okay. Valentine. Okay. Who else? Okay. Who else? Okay. Let's go. Okay. What about the other team?
We have a team.
Okay.
It's Shafter, Kitson.
That's all And then below.
Okay.
We need one.
I'll close it out.
Who goes up? Saunders.
Yeah.
2321808.
Okay. And then who do we have left? We have
Yeah.
Moroso. And Maxie.
Up in the draft.
Okay.
He's
There we go.
6th round. Going into the 6th round draft pick.
All right. Okay.
Who's not here?
Maxie and Moroso and Tamayo are the only 3 that aren't here, right?
I don't know, isn't there another new student?
I don't think he's in this class.
Oh.
Yep, Bernard, he's not in this class. Okay, so here is what I would like for you to do right now. Go ahead and break into your NAIOP groups and just talk a little bit, take a look at what is on the website, and but more specifically, take a look at the handout that I gave you in terms of the individual components of the deliverable and the project itself, and try to begin to start thinking about who is going to take responsibility for what, okay? And try to kind of break that apart. All right, so spend a few minutes on that, and then we'll talk about that here in a minute.
And the insurance companies were required by law to get contractors, and then we filed by order. So like if your house is on your insurance statement, you say, my house is what? You say, well, maybe 3. But I found out that space,
Yes.
or A space, better.
What's the name? Okay.
Space A, like A.
Well, I mean,
there's one company called A.
Once again, what I direct the other teams to, go ahead and take a look at what the deliverables are. think about which components that you're going to be the most interested in working on. They're pretty normally sort of broken up into the financial component, the market component, the site component, and the regulatory components, and sort of think about which piece that you're going to want to sort of work on. Okay? And since obviously you guys are here, I would suggest you take the pieces you want.
I was gonna just like
I can contact you and see what that especially we don't
All I can say is every semester, the new people that start are at a little bit of a disadvantage relative to folks that have been here for previous semesters. That's always the case because we have a rolling admission. And so, just the teams are self-selected, so there's no question, none, zero, you are at a disadvantage. Now, does that get reflected in your grade? No. Does that get reflected potentially in how the project is going to turn out? Probably. Okay. But that's there's nothing in my mind that can be fairly done to completely satisfy everyone in this situation.
Like I say we meet soon.
It's a class project, pure insanity.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do like red spend the rest of this week.
I mean, you're taking okay. So
When you're then we can meet like on Wednesday. So we can just break it all up.
people are going to be unhappy either way.
I'm not happy. I'm concerned that
Wednesday we
because we are with our on-time group right now, so we finished that plan and that grade plan.
okay, yeah.
But it's still a project, we're kind of just and it's complicated.
Tyler, like maybe you, I know it's
I was
probably
back personally here to show us the rest of the class.
No, that's not going to be the case. He told me he wasn't going to be here today, as did Encino. And I understand that, but certain things are out of my control. I can't force them to be in class. And everyone had a chance to pick who they wanted on their teams. You know, I mean, that's the reason why I do it that way is that ultimately everybody has the opportunity to pick who they want. Chad Maxey was one of them sitting up here in the front. Yeah.
Okay, that's all right.
Oh yeah. But I think that's what we're gonna have.
It's very broad, or maybe it's just too much information. We don't know how to conduct a search and kind of like, can you guide us? We gotta do it.
What I would suggest you do is you don't have to use CoStar.
Okay.
It's just one source.
Okay. Now, is
Yep. Pretty much everything we produce is full out.
Oh, and then Thomson Reuters,
Yep. Well, that you're not going to do.
no, this one.
Right.
I need a computer for poster.
Okay. Well, just you would let me know. Yeah, send me an email and I can bring one to the next class session. Okay.
I think by next Wednesday, obviously
Gary, we want to bother you a little bit. If you sit with us, so you
Absolutely.
can help us to
Okay.
break down.
I'll go back here.
Everything's in that mall.
Movie theater, dining.
People will fly in from they stay in that Holiday Inn across the street from the mall. They shop at the mall. They go back to the Holiday Inn. They get their cash and go back. That's it. They're here for a weekend to shop at the mall. And that's like probably like 70% of the demographic that shops every day. Does that.
Yeah.
They put that out as an assignment or a lot, and they said, we'll go to suit or evangelist. And they got flooded of calls. People like, that's what they did in Portugal. And they said, what would you want to they got the idea that they started like, he said, it's like, we want to see from,
Which one do
Walking Dead.
Okay. Or you
Yeah.
just I know a little bit about one of those. So I know a little bit about that. Maybe I play that one. That's your all. But I see a lot of these projects is
I think like a hotel, you know, rent single family. I don't know. Change the zoning. I'm not single family. I'm sorry, multi-family.
Yeah, probably right now.
Yeah, but in the notes here it says assume that anything's allowed.
In other words, the side has to be worked. So kind of project you don't really have to try to line. It does there's a way to have to tell the regulatory commission was similar to the classified.
What's the feel around this area? Do you guys anticipate you've been
Yeah, but international mall I think is like, yeah, it is. It's like a high-end outlet.
in that area?
And, well, mainly like, yeah, it's,
Well, if it's right off the turnpike, it's like these.
I don't know if it's really, I think Sweetwater really wants to irrigate more. And then the dividing road. All these big like Simon Properties is building. Yeah, but Simon Properties right now is building residential on their mall parking. It's like this new, it's over shops.
But it's like heavy traffic, high industrial traffic. It's like
Because the asphalt plant, right behind us. Yeah,
I don't think it's a
asphalt. Yeah, right here, there's asphalt, concrete plant. It's all planned. So this is all vacant. If you want Simon Properties, now, being marked off. Yeah, or is it just like a couple of the rest? No, this over here is a big outdoor venue. This is probably a pretty decent walk. I mean, we did and that's like, you know, you can do it. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. You can do it. I don't know how walking the street is right here. Otherwise, there's nothing at the hotel. Really activity center, and they got a hotel here. And then IKEA is one. And then this is all Karachi's office, which they, this is all like high security, like FBI. So it's all federal right here. And that's all Karachi's office. If you look at these, when you get these Karachi's, and then this is right here. Provide this right here. This is FBOT's headquarters right here. International skier. I think here, when we look at here, or, you know, personal accommodations. I think we do multi-family, multiple rent, and we don't have personal. Next one, I think that's probably, we can look at a lot of articles. This is only like 30 days.
I think we better than every hour.
And the other nice thing. Retail is usually like the lowest. Your lowest. You got industrial, walk store, let's talk about things that like absolutely. The thing is that we're going to do industrial, and all the residential is this size. Like, this is like people from other countries trips to America.
So,
They'll have like Flying, it's just bad. They stay at this hotel.
That makes sense.
Shop here, they go back to
You
this
know,
hotel.
and so,
That's why they're, that's why they're. The hotel site, you can do 100, hotel site on like, probably just say, when you got 8. Okay, and then also, so you got 4 left. You got 8 acres.
That's the interactive. Makes sense.
Or you can do like, no, I didn't. No, I got it. I just, that was a conversation. So what's your, so your strongest financial? Which means nothing. You're a floater. Pick up slack. Well, this is very good at the marketing. Not like general market research. So do you want it done this now? So you want it?
I mean, I would like to help, but I think that, the amount of time it's gonna take me. I mean, I'm happy to do this stuff too.
I know Alyssa's like every time she's on a project, she gets stuck on market research and
I mean, I'm happy to.
that's what I'm saying. Like she's not learning like the financial.
I'm happy to help, like, and just,
But if we get like together though, I think
why don't we, I mean, we want to here's
like a hotel site in this year's working on, I don't know, so that's actually my week. I know I got my credit. I don't like it. Really don't. Obviously, follows all the
I mean, we've got
especially for me, just like Nova, I'm gonna melt.
I think we should see because I think our priorities. I think I really think.
Been down this road for 25 years.
It looks like it looks. That's
But the thing is now who's gonna know it?
There's also why I'm with this.
And I personally think that if it ends up being an organized team, and you never get the whole story from one person.
No, it's pretty much. It says convention. Really great.
Yeah.
It's based on the
site will be done, everything,
There's nothing
and
like it there.
then the finance, and it's tied it all together.
Right. We'll talk about that. As long as it is readily identifiable that a percentage of this year. Your slides are lost and you break it up for senior.
Yeah, we actually,
I practice on my best.
but anyway, we had a good system.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, classes do basically have the PowerPoint outline,
But next semester,
we'll finish, and you just say, you do slides 2 and 3, and you add your part. Here's a transition. 3 and 5, you add your part.
that's the way that they look at it.
Together. The thing, the bottom line was is that they didn't brought together. So it wasn't like, I didn't know anything wrong. I did together.
You have to compare market trends, like I can say office rents are the highest, but that you'll never get a good luck.
Okay, what I would also like, we're going to go ahead and try to allocate people between site analysis, regulatory analysis, financial analysis, and market analysis for each of the groups, because we ideally want one person to be responsible for those. Obviously, the one team with the group of 5, you guys are going to figure out what that 5th person is going to sort of focus on, so they are ensured that they get full and independent credit. Because the way that I want to run this is that each person that's responsible for that section is going to present that section so that they are independently responsible for that section, independent of the group. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Okay? We don't want a situation like we have had in certain semesters where 1 or 2 people in the group just sort of slide, okay, and don't really contribute. All right, so in this particular instance, what we're going to make certain of is that each person is assigned a specific component part, okay? So you guys need to figure out within your group who is going to take on that responsibility, realizing the site analysis person and the regulatory analysis person have the very first pieces of the puzzle to unlock, okay? Which then flows through to the market analysis folks and then the financial, kind of closing it out, okay? So, think about that for a couple of minutes. Once you've kind of figured it out, let me know. What I want to be able to do is I want to be able to say, this was your piece of it, this is, I'm grading you on this piece. That's fine, as long as we're talking about the presentation piece.
Well, even that one, we're still trying to work on some things and whatnot. It's up in the air, obviously, but it's just, in some cases, we may feel like 3 to 10 people made, because it's 5 of us, somebody's going to pull it up, what they're kind of, find out what it's, no, yeah, it's
No, we're going to have to do it this way this time. I'm sorry. I mean, I think in order to be fair to every single person, we really want to give everybody a chance to succeed.
It is very likely. Maybe they're wrong. I mean, I had an
just presentation wise,
The presentation, yes, but also that person should be the person that's writing that section. And then, given that y'all got 5 members, y'all may need to kind of, split up some of the responsibilities a little
Or
bit.
someone could be double, there could be 2 people.
I don't want you to
double
be this president yet, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's why we're doing it the way we are, because I want to teach people, because I run meetings, so there's meetings, and it's like, I want to teach people how I do partnerships, but it's going, I'm going to get a lot from writing your report, not like the year before, but Dustin and I are going how we're going to change the finance, like, he's not just going to make an Excel spreadsheet, not going to look at it, and go, these are the numbers I need. We're actually going to go through everything.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is Shachter is marketing.
Okay.
Okay? Okay?
It's comfort doing this in the like the regular
he's just reading through it. It's not really something. I mean, we'll come back to you, but so far it's me.
Okay.
Just a quick recap. I got 20 pieces. The slide person works with that.
Yep. I mean, yours is more the physical side.
Yeah. I basically tell her what we can.
Right. Right. Physical, yours is really the physical layout, how to decide how it kind of interplays with, in other words, like where you're going to put curb cuts, to get into the site. It's also going to be how you're going to lay it out on the site, like how much landscaping you're going to have, setbacks, how many, basically stories the building is going to be, that's going to be regulated by him. But you're the one making kind of
They already know what's going on.
What I'm planning to sell, right?
yours is not the marketing aspect. Yours really is the physical attributes of the site. Okay. What is it going to look like? Yeah.
And, executive summary, I'm going to make sure that.
That's fine.
Are you leaving it over there?
Yeah. Yep.
He said he would make the present.
Oh, great. So if you fail, I get kicked out.
There we go. Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's got to be there. So it's got to be black and white.
There's nothing great.
There's the project financials, and then there's the lending.
I mean, I have no idea.
You should learn about that.
See the race of our interior build-ups and stuff like that. I mean, I know the process. You get numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, take a picture of it, so.
Once you go. Absolutely. I was just going to also fill in the last one. Okay, Janae, Daryl, Laura, Kathleen, what have y'all figured out who's going to do what?
Yeah.
Okay, so Valentine's going to do what?
Market.
Okay. Okay, Daryl? Okay, Laura? And that leaves regulatory. Okay, looks like we're all assigned.
I'd like to see that would happen.
Do you have mid-CT or SCT notes?
Yep. Actually, right there. Okay, so now that you've had a chance to sort of interact a little bit with your group members, here is my approach to how I would suggest that you sort of start this process. All right, pretty much the first thing I would suggest you do is delve into the zoning. So take a look specifically at the C2 zoning, see what it will allow, okay? See effectively what uses are permissible, which ones aren't, see what restrictions you're going to have with respect to height, see what restrictions you're going to have in terms of landscaping, see what restrictions you're going to have in terms of setback requirements, parking requirements, all of those sorts of things. That should be sort of the starting point, at least in my mind. Once you've kind of done that, then it's kind of going to naturally flow to the site analysis person of them being able to say, okay, this is what the regulatory folks have said that we can put on this site. Let's figure out how we're going to configure the site, where the buildings are going to go on the site, where the parking is going to go, how effectively aesthetically it's going to look. The site person is really going to be focused on the physical attributes of the site, okay? And any sort of design elements are going to be covered by the site person, okay? All right, then that is going to then flow through to the market analysis person, who is then going to say, all right, based upon what those folks have told me, is this going to work with respect to what are the rental rates that this particular set of uses and this amount of square footage and the construction cost, according to what you can find, does that sort of make sense, which feeds into the financial model of then looking at effectively what are your rates of return, what's your loan structure, what sort of effectively interest rate you're getting, who your partners are, how the cash flow potential is going to be distributed, all of that sort of stuff can be covered by. So that's really going to be almost the final piece. Keeping in mind, however, the way I would approach this is, as you go through kind of those first few sections, it needs to be kind of, is the regulatory analysis feasible for what we want to do? Yes or no? Is the site feasible for what we want to do? Yes or no? You know, those two you can manipulate to the extent to make it feasible. You don't want to probably, present something that's not going to be feasible. And then when you come into the market, then hopefully that begins to bear out, well, are they feasible, are they not? And then finally, whenever you put the numbers to it, then ultimately you get that final go, no-go sort of decision. Does that make sense? Now, your executive summary at the very beginning of all this probably is not going to be written until everything else is done, okay? The executive summary is pretty much just going to be, whenever we performed the site analysis, we found this. When we performed the regulatory analysis, we found this. When we performed the market analysis, we found this. When we performed the financial analysis, we found this. And then ultimately, boom, here's our decision. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Any questions? Yep, Kathleen.
So our first presentation on the 16th is basically a paper, a written paper, or is it a...
No, it can be purely PowerPoint slides. As far as I'm concerned, unless they are telling me differently, but to the extent that, unless you need a lot of additional supporting, information that you don't inherently want to put on a set of PowerPoint slides, you have that choice. Okay? Now, having said that, don't make the mistake that some of the groups made last semester with teeny tiny fonts that no one can read. Okay? So what I suggest you probably do is have the PowerPoint slides have the key point.